I've got Representative Jim Kasper with me. He's a state legislator here in North Dakota and was one of the legislators back when the state was considering the issue of health care exchanges under the Affordable Care Act, also known in political circles as Obamacare. Was one of the legislators, served on a committee that had reviewed that issue, and also was one of the legislators who pushed for legislation to implement the exchanges during a special session in 2011. Since then, obviously we've had, the issue's been heard before the Supreme Court, and Representative Kasper, I understand that you've actually changed your position on this issue.
Well, Rob, I have, based upon the terrible decision of the Supreme Court and the ramifications of that decision. I just see that instead of doing anything in North Dakota to implement Obamacare, I'm of the position now that we need to do everything to nullify it and to not support it at all, as much as we can under the law. And that would include not supporting a state-based exchange, because that would help the federal government implement this egregious and terrible piece of legislation.
Now, what specifically, led you? Because obviously, we're all, a lot of conservatives and Republicans in North Dakota are not for implementing this law. But what specifically? What parts of the law just made you think, this is a bad deal for North Dakota?
Well, when you dig into the Supreme Court ruling and see what some of the ramifications are, and then you're looking more closely at the Obamacare statute itself, the fact that we will have an opportunity to waive out of the Medicaid onerous requirements is a plus. The fact that the federal legislation had an oops in it, which appears it does not have the method to get dollars back to the states if you have a federal exchange, which means it has a huge problem. And so now I've come to the decision over time that the best thing we can do as in each individual state and as United States is to push back against Obamacare, because if this law is implemented in its totality, I believe it's the end of our country as we know it. I believe we're headed down the path of what has happened with Greece and other socialist countries. And so I've come around to the position that Obamacare we must fight at all with our full guns blazing and as much might as we possibly can here in the state of North Dakota.
Obviously, at one point in 2011, you felt the exchanges were something we did need to implement. And as I understood your argument at the time, it was that North Dakota would have some say in how the exchanges are formed. That seemed to me that the basis of your argument. Maybe you could flesh out what your argument was in 2011 and how that evolved to your position now in 2012.
Yes, Rob, that was my primary reason for being on board with the exchange during the special session and leading up to it is that it's better to have the state of North Dakota control the exchange and have the federal government control the exchange. However, now with the Supreme Court ruling, as I've said, I think it's better not to have Obamacare. And so any way we as individual states and collective states can push back against the federal government, I'm going to support very strongly. And there's a possibility if enough states would nullify their support of Obamacare. I think we'd need 37 states. We could actually have a state action against the federal government. The question is, and I want to ask this of Attorney General Stenjum, is with the 26 states who sued the federal government in Florida, is there a possibility with those states and maybe a few others that we could sue the federal government on a broader plane and try to just nullify the whole act?
Well, that'll be interesting, and that'll certainly be something that'll be an interesting part of this debate going forward. Representative Kasper, thank you for your time.
You're welcome, Rob.